Hello everybody and welcome to a new episode of RageRuizRants. This is where I, Austin Ruiz, rant about stuff that just drives me bonkers. So, today, as you'll notice, the board has changed. RageRuizRants, SOAP, no, SOPA, or SOPA, however you like to choose it, SOPA, Stop Online Piracy Act. And along with SOPA, I put this on there because it's just not catchy, but PIPA, or PIPA, or Protect IP Act. So, another board change, I'm just going to go through this really quick, is RageRuizRants. I had exclamations what they are, but by now you guys should probably know. If not, this is my opinion. This is what backs up my opinion, the words of wisdom. So today we're going to be talking about SOPA, SOPA, PIPA, Protect IP Act, and the Stop Online Piracy Act. Now, at first, when I first came up with this idea, I was kind of in support of SOPA and PIPA until I looked it up, and then I just kind of thought of all the stuff that could go on because of this. And because of this realization, I am against both of them. As they have good intentions, like just the broad view of them, just, kind of going with a little bit of knowledge, they're pretty good. Stop Online Piracy Act. It's a good act to get rid of piracy, which will pump more money into our economy, because people won't be freeloading some stuff off their computer. They'll actually have to buy it, and since they'll have to actually buy it, stuff will sell more generally. Now, I don't know much about the Protect IP Act, but I just know that a lot of people are against it because basically what both of these are doing, if you really look into it, is limiting our freedom of speech on the internet. This is if you look at it in depth. As you can see, I've written stopping freedom is bad. This is bad, and I'll write it up there too, just to summarize my point, but it's bad because it just leads to the more limiting of our rights on the internet. Limiting is a word that I've made up. Slimming and limiting. So, it'll be limiting our internet rights, which is bad, because once it starts out with it's being protected and little sites being just eliminated from the internet, and then it'll just becoming just more and more oppressive as time goes on. As you can see, as I put up here, freedom founded the USA. And by that, I mean the idea of freedom. I don't mean that there was a guy named Freedom and he was like, oh, USA. The US has been supporting freedom of speech, freedom of minorities, freedom of religion, freedom of anything, freedom of educational rights, freedom of rights to, just be you, basically. The fact that stopping freedom is bad is supported because freedom founded the US. Without the idea of freedom, the U.S. most likely would not have came to existence. We'd probably still be with England. My second point on why all this is just bad. For one, it's kind of a just wrong way of taking care of a little problem. If you want to take care of the problem, you go to the site owners and you, especially for piracy, you go to the site owners and you persecute them. You arrest them. Because otherwise, you're not really doing anything. You're taking down the site. You could do that, but that's going to piss a lot of people off. So, instead of just shutting down the site, and then, other unnecessary sites, take the illegal ones and make those go away. But the ones that are just fine, not doing anything, they shouldn't have to suffer just because these big corporations want more money. Which is ironic, because, I haven't actually had, had any interest in some of the smaller sites that I know of. I just use a bunch of sites every day. Like Wikipedia, I guess, may be affected by this whole thing, and that sucks. I don't, base all my, research for my papers, but just, as a broad kind of idea of just information. Like if I want to know what songs were on the new Tech 9 album, I'll Wikipedia that stuff. And then Google might even be affected by it, which sucks real bad because I will not Bing anything and will not use Yahoo. Google is the crap. That is just basically something of rights. The RageRuiz opinion for today, small legal sites shouldn't suffer. And you know, that's just the basis of it. They shouldn't have to suffer just because these big corporations have a problem with the basic website. It's wrong. You know, some of these small websites have become a big deal in America, but they are non-profit, or they just don't make as much profit because they don't demand as much profit. And it's just sad to see all these sites that could be taken down being taken down. Another thing that I've written up on the RageRuiz is that these small sites aren't harming anyone. The only people that they are actually harming is big corporations, and they're just selfish people who just want to make more money. Just kind of like the oil industry, like gas prices soar up. It's not because they need to, sometimes it's just because they want more money, you know? And it sucks that that's the way things have to be, but it is, and it's the truth. We've come to the conclusion that small legal sites shouldn't suffer because these small legal sites aren't hurting anybody. They're not. I mean, unless they're like popular torrenting sites like the Pirate Bay. Those sites may have to suffer, and that's because they're not legal. You know, they're promoting illegal acts, which, you know, it's convenient for most Americans, but it's, like I said, it kind of hurts the economy a little, and I know not a lot, but a little, because most people aren't spending money on the stuff that they are torrenting. So, last RageRuiz rant point today. I just wanted to make sure that you all stay informed. This is the last point I'll make, and I also want to reiterate that I did not make this just because I'm jumping on the bandwagon. I've actually known about this whole thing. It became a big deal to me recently because I was more informed about it. I never really looked it up. I just thought that it was just stopping online piracy. It's like, oh, fine, that's fine. Contact your state representatives, your senator, whatever you can contact, and let them know what you guys feel. Because although they're going to make the decision, they have to represent the people's voice, and we are the people. Stay informed. Don't be ruled out. By that I mean, don't let your voice be just silent. Don't let metaphorical duct tape silence you from speaking about SOPA and PIPA, and just really do what you feel is right. If you feel like this whole thing is right, and you don't care about any of this SOPA stuff, like maybe it doesn't affect you, or maybe you believe that it's a good cause, then by all means tell your senator to agree with it. But otherwise, tell them to disagree with it. I mean, even YouTube, I guess, could be suffering from the fallout of these whole bills, and we will all love YouTube. Come on, man. The government represents the people. I said reps because it's just a lot to write. So the government represents the people. So that means that you shouldn't let your voice be unheard. They are representatives for us. They don't make decisions for us. They let the people's decision reflect upon how they make their decision. If you're a local Washington resident like me, I'll most likely put the information to contact your local people in the comment section below. And otherwise, just make sure you Google that thing, and you know, maybe the last time you can ever Google something. It is SOPA, not SOAP. And just remember that if you want your voice to be heard, that you don't have to be silenced. Speak out for yourself, and as always, I'm out. The slimiting